Three. What's going on, guys? Here again in the Insta Talk podcast. In this episode, we got my boy Samuel Espinoza, aka Sammy Soul in the industry. Guys, I want you to pay attention to this podcast because you're gonna get to hear and know my brother Sammy. But Sammy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? So I'm Samuel Espinoza, 26-year-old, and this is what we do, real estate. So
That's right. So, Sammy, before we get started, as we did it with Joshua, we did it with Jacob, and now we're gonna do it with you. We start with a Bible verse that it is our company slogan, which goes with Proverbs 13. I'm sorry, Proverbs 14, 23, and it says, "All hard work brings a profit, and mere talk leads to poverty." And this one, I think it reflects a lot on you as well because I know how much work you put into this business. I see you every day. I see you, bro. Like since we started, we're gonna get in there, but I see you how much work you put into business, how much sweat equity you're putting into it, and the word says that all hard work brings a profit, and I think the big profit in your career is literally happening right now as we speak. So let's start off with that. So Sammy, where are you from? Tell the people where you're from.
yeah, so so I was born in Florida. My parents, both of them, come from Mexico, so I have that Mexican background.
Yeah.
Born in Florida, was there born 2 years. Parents moved here to San Antonio, and I've been here my whole life. So
So you've been most of them like a Texan. You've been here in San Antonio for a long time.
yeah, born in Florida, raised a Texan. So
So you're first generation, right?
yes,
Because both of your parents from Mexico,
yes,
right? So now you're first generation American here, right?
yes, that's correct.
So I want you to tell a story if you don't mind. You told me that story when we first met, and that you're a miracle.
Yeah, yeah,
So praise God for that,
amen.
right? And I mean, your name is after a prophet, Samuel,
All right.
right? Great prophet. So you were born in Florida. You came down here to San Antonio, Texas, and who was Sammy growing up? As a child.
I mean, just an ordinary kid. I was raised on the west side of
West Side,
West
another
Side of
West
San
Sider.
Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, so west side of San Antonio. I mean, my parents, my dad, hardworking dad.
Yeah.
My mom very supportive and both followers of Christ. So
Yeah.
always giving me an example. And yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing special to it. West Side grew. I went to graduated in the West Side as well, and I mean, you know, God gave me a plan, a vision, and I'm just here. And
Man.
yeah,
So, okay, so hardworking parents. I grew up very humble, right, on the west
hmm
side of San Antonio. You saw your dad, and you still see your dad working very hard.
yeah,
You saw your mom, and you still see your mom being very supportive to the family.
yeah,
Raising you, your sisters, the kids.
yeah.
And what triggered that you said, "Well, I want something different for my life and for my family."
Yeah. If I'm being honest, bro, I don't. I think that hit me at a later age in my lifetime. Because even though I was born, in a lower class area or on the rougher side of town, my dad always worked hard enough to provide and put and give me enough. Maybe it wasn't what I wanted, but it was more than what I needed.
Yeah.
So growing up and just kind of seeing my dad work for everything that he's wanted. Coming from Mexico, they didn't have credit, they didn't
Yeah.
have social security, so
Yeah.
trying to buy a house was a very difficult thing for them. So we grew up in apartments for a very long time, and for my dad, his biggest dream was to buy a house.
Yeah.
And so seeing him being able to accomplish that and then do it again and then again,
Dude, that has multiple properties.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
And shout out to that.
yeah, so seeing that growing up, kind of at a later point when it's time to mature and realize, like, even though my parents don't rely on me,
Yeah.
they now I'm seeing it where they're at an age where they're relying on me more than what they
Mm.
used to. So
Mm.
um it was kind of a difficult thing because I was very comfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go out there and work. I didn't
Yeah.
need to provide for my mom
Yeah.
or they had each other, and my dad worked hard enough to provide. And so growing out of that comfortability and putting myself out there, wanting something more, but it was realizing like why. And at some point it was just about me, like, oh, I want this car, or I want to have this much money. And even though I thought about my family, like, it didn't hit me till they've hit an age now where my mom and my dad both tell me, like, we need your help.
Yeah.
And we're only getting older. And
Yeah.
where I'm at now is just wanting to put them in a position where now I can take care of them.
Amen. And you will, because you're I can tell you're a good son.
Yeah.
Um, we're almost in the same boat right now. When and when it comes to that,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, I brought my mom, my dad, and my sister
Mm-hmm.
from Venezuela,
Yeah.
right? And it's like for them starting from scratch, starting from zero, right? Like
Right.
my dad doesn't speak English, my mom doesn't speak English, my
Yeah.
sister brand new doesn't have any friends, she's learning English, so a culture shock, like a lot of things happen, and the
Mm-hmm.
only one that I guess kind of was ahead of that was me, or is me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw the responsibility that God had put on me on, like, okay, this is why I'm taking you first.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I have blessed you with these opportunities, simple as you're in real estate.
Right.
Like, as simple as you're on a career, I put you on a career where you can make an impact on other people and especially on your family. So,
Yeah.
I see it as well where I look at my parents and I'm in the position where I'm taking care of them.
Right.
I'm taking care of when they used to take care of me.
Yeah.
At a very young age, but I never thought like it was going to happen at 28 years old.
Right.
And I think we're both going on that. Through that, and the Lord. One thing that the Lord honors that.
Right.
As kids, as sons, right? The Lord says, like, if you honor your parents,
Right.
you have heaven,
Yeah.
earned it. Like, that's one of the commandments that we have, right?
Yeah.
So just I know it can get heavy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because it even gets heavy with me,
Right.
and but I always look at God and I say, God, like, I mean, you're taking care of us.
Right.
So if you're putting me in this position, it's because I can handle it.
Exactly.
So respect to you for that, because I know it's not easy, bro.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
easy. So okay, you grew up, you saw your mom, your dad working. You said, you know what, I want more. Now you're in the position where you need to help them. Um, at what age? Who is Sammy a teenager when you're like 15, 16? I know you were a soccer player,
Yeah. 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 So I mean, I think that was one of my biggest passions was playing soccer.
and
Um,
you were good at it too. I saw some videos.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was good at it. I went through high school and I played club soccer at some of the best clubs in town at the highest level. We got to play nationals for club level. So seeing being almost at a professional level,
Yeah,
But I think in high school I wasn't very. Not that I wasn't good at school. I was just very. I didn't really like or I wouldn't pay much attention.
yeah,
I wasn't a bad kid, but it was just more of like I was just there just to be there
yeah,
and make my parents proud. Because in a sense, coming from a first generation, I have maybe 10 older cousins than me
yeah.
that were raised here in San Antonio, or that were raised here in the United States, but none of them ever finished high school. So for my parents, having 10 older cousins who went through high school but all dropped out, and being that first person to, graduate, that was big. And I don't know, it was just something that through my teen years, it was figuring out what I wanted to do. Like,
So when did you make the decision to say, I want to do real estate? Because you're
yeah,
26,
yeah,
so I mean we're all still young,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro, I don't even think like I just it just came to. I'm sorry to
No,
kind of
yeah,
change the subject real quick, but I don't even think like back in the 70s or 80s, even 90s, people at 26 years old were doing real estate.
yeah. No, I don't think so
I,
either.
I don't I don't think so. I
At
think
least not as a career.
at least not as a like a career. I don't know. I may have to we may have to ask some OGs
Right.
and be like, hey, how was it like on the 80s or 90s, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like whoever did real estate on those times, like 80s, 90s, was already older, like
Mm-hmm.
30 plus, 40. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
bro, we are on our 20s and we're already doing transaction, bro. Like
Right.
we're moving papers. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, at a young age, what made you say I want to do real estate?
I think I knew that I didn't want to go to college.
Okay.
Um, Maybe it was during that phase of like once I graduated, like I said, going back to not knowing what I wanted to do exactly. But my main background was construction, right? So my dad did remodeling, and that's all he did for his entire life. And seeing a lot of these houses that we would work for being rehabbed
Yeah.
and all of that, I thought it was cool. I liked the idea of like flipping houses. And um, I want to say I was probably 18 years old when I made that decision of like, okay, I want to try that.
Okay.
I ran into the concept of wholesaling.
Yep.
Um,
So we're talking almost 7 years ago.
yes, so this was like 2017 ish.
Okay. So
Yeah,
almost, man, time flies.
yeah,
So almost 7 years ago.
yeah.
So you heard about wholesaling,
Mhm,
2017.
mhm,
You're 18 years old,
mhm.
and you say, okay, cool. I like this real estate, this remodeling stuff, this construction stuff, but I think I want to get into the business a different route where I don't have to break my back.
Right.
I think that's the thought that we
Yeah.
all had, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think we all did construction here, and it's no fun,
Right.
right? Like my boy Luis Nieto, they came back and it's like, bro, no, I'm not going back to the field, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's in my opinion, we gotta make money with our brain, right?
Yeah.
Not with like breaking our back. So what happened then?
So I mean, yeah, I was like I said, I ran into wholesaling. I tried it, but I was a very shy person, right? So I wasn't a big like speaking to people, and I hadn't really done any sales. I had done it before, but I thought like real estate, you're talking about like who's gonna trust a kid saying, "Hey, I want to buy your house," right?
Yeah,
And so I tried a lot of different things. I mean, you know, I got into several jobs, oil field, just different types of things, just to try it. Like you don't know until you try it. That was my concept then, and my dad would tell me like, whatever you want to do, just try it because you don't know if you're gonna like it. And at that time, it's one of those things where you're trying to figure out your passion
right,
or your why or your reason to be successful, but an 18-year-old kid, like I guess with society today, like yes, you're considered an adult, but at that age a lot, like you're still maturing into
yeah,
a man. And it's it's not easy knowing what you want to do for the rest of your life at that age,
right.
so um I ran into, and shout out to Edwin Morales
Shout out to
for
Edwin. We're
for
gonna
those of
have him
you
on
who,
the podcast. I talked to him today.
yeah, for those of you who know him, he was actually my youth leader growing up,
Good.
and my youth pastor. And he was into car sales at the time, and he ended up getting into real estate. um, and I had left that church. Fast forward a year later, we meet up again. um, and I tell him like, hey, I want to do something with real estate. And he's like, have you heard of wholesaling? I'm like, I have. And he's like, I'm gonna put you on with this guy. And shout out to Pablo and Q. So
Yeah,
you know, I was given that opportunity through my youth leader who put me on with Quentin Flores at
yeah,
his office. And at that time, I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
yeah,
All I knew was they just threw me on the phone
yeah.
like, hey, here's a dialer,
Go.
here's a script, start calling. And I was just figuring it
How
out
old are
along the
you
way.
there?
I think I was
Like
already
21?
like probably like 19, maybe about to be 20. So
Okay.
this was like
Wow.
in 2019.
Wow, you were young. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel like I'm old. When you say that, I'm like, because I was already doing it,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
Maybe because I've been doing it already for a minute. But 2019, so they put you in the dialer and you're
Hmm.
like, okay, what do I do next? So what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I grinded it out 4 years. I mean, 4 years, 4 months. Within those 4 months, I didn't really make any money.
Yeah.
I was able to, so I didn't even know what dispo was at the time, but I got paid because I sold a property to an investor that was just happened to be looking for the deal that we had.
Mm,
And sure enough, I mean, we closed on the deal. I got paid, but I mean, at the time for the commission and the time that I had been working, I got desperate. I
Yeah.
got desperate. It's not easy,
Yeah.
especially, you're 19 years old. You want to make money, get
Yeah.
yourself moving with life,
Yep.
getting all these things right. So I quit. I quit, and I think that's one of my biggest regrets.
Yeah.
But I went back to what I knew: remodeling,
Yeah.
construction, and then COVID hit.
Mm.
COVID hit, right? So during COVID, it was one of those things that I think it shocked everybody.
Yeah.
Even probably people within real estate businesses. I'm sure a lot of them shut down. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of them had that panic. So um, I didn't know what to do, and I just saw a lot of people starting up their own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with my dad during that COVID period, but I saved enough money because I wanted to get into car detailing,
Mm.
right? So I like the business. I like the concept of it. I like cleaning. I mean, I wash my own car by hand, right?
Yeah.
So I like to do the work, and I did that for a while, and back and forth construction, and throughout this entire time I knew what wholesaling was, and I already had enough experience to do it, but I just had that fear, that doubt, that of
Mm.
not knowing enough, right? So I think that held me back
Mm.
from not doing the business. And like I said, I regret it because in a sense, during that time that I was too scared to take action, it was one of the hottest markets
Yeah.
that everyone had seen.
Yeah. So yeah, you stop right before or right at when the market went booming.
Right.
We're talking 2020, 2021,
Yeah.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
That's when even a donkey was making money.
Yeah.
Like even the donkey on the
Yeah.
street call calling was making money in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and at that time you had stopped,
Yeah.
right? And then when you got back into it, you got back into it right where it was on his way
So
down.
I got the peak of it, like when
Yeah,
it was. I still got
you got a little bit of
July
it.
of 2022. That's
Yeah.
when I joined again. Shout out to JR.
Yep.
So I worked with JR, and at that time, like I got sold probably what 7 properties within a 2 month period,
Yeah.
made good money, and then boom, like the market
Done.
hit,
Yep.
everything, interest rates went up, and I didn't sell.
Everybody panic.
Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't I didn't sell a property in 4 months after that.
Yeah.
So like feeling like it was that easy coming in, thinking it's easy,
Yeah.
and then seeing the market turn, and it like reality slaps you,
Yeah.
right? So
So man, this is interesting because then what you're saying is you got in, you were like, wait a minute, this is hard. I need to make money in 4 months. I just got paid once. You got a little desperate. You left. COVID. You try to start your own business. COVID hit. You're like, what am I doing? Real estate is hot. I need to get back into real estate. You got back into real estate right when it was on the peak.
yeah,
You make money quick, and you're thinking, man, this is it. This is my year.
yeah,
And boom, the tortilla flipped on you.
yeah,
And then you're like, wait a minute, what happened?
mm-hmm.
So now we're in 2023,
Right,
right?
yeah,
But before we even get there, because that's when we start, when we met,
right,
what have you learned until then? Like, it sounds like a lot of failure, but learning
yeah,
at the same time.
yeah, yeah. I think one of my biggest takeaway from all of that is just like don't quit, especially because even at that time I didn't really have a valid reason to quit. Yes, it was the money,
Yeah.
but I could have still relied on my parents, right? And I knew that what I was doing, there was something greater to it. And I just knew it, but getting desperate. So I think, is learning now is one, going to God for like my next move,
Yeah.
consulting, because a lot of times, like at that time I wasn't living my life according to the way that God would want it. I was living on my own, doing my
Mm.
own thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I made my own decisions. God placed me there because through Edwin, through somebody who saw me grow up in the church, he gave me the privilege to be there. And
Mm.
so I did what I wanted to do. I left, and I missed out on so much opportunity. And I just think like now, like I don't focus on what market we're in. I'm just sticking it. For me, the mindset is just like, just don't quit. As long as,
You're in the game.
even if you're
Yeah.
not winning, it looks like you're not winning, but just stay in the game,
Yep.
because all it takes is one move, one
Yep.
play that you can pass on to the next level,
Yep.
and
Yep.
just staying consistent. So
Yep. Sammy, and that's why we're partners. That's
yeah,
why when we have talk, and I went a little forward, but I saw that in you. You already understood that part already.
Mm-hmm.
You got that where um, all it takes is one deal
Mm-hmm.
to change your life.
Right.
All it takes is that one call
Yeah.
to change your life, right? And you understood that, and um, that is the hard part to understand that when you're in the beginning season,
Yeah.
like oh man, yeah, because everything looks good online,
Right.
but then when you're doing it, then it's a whole different world. And once you're going through it, and you go 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, as everybody knows, it took me 8 months to get my first deal, right?
Yeah.
So have I quit, I would have been where I'm at right now.
Exactly.
So I think you understood that part where as long as you're still in the game, and that's what I say, guys, as long as you're still in the game, man. Look, it doesn't matter if you're just scoring all the time, like he said, but as long as you're still in the game and keep going to base and try to hit that ball and going home run, as long as you put yourself from base one and base two and base three, eventually you start scoring. Eventually you start getting better at the game. Because what I see is a lot of people hit one home run, do one score, and then when they go back and they're not hitting,
Mm-hmm.
they quit,
Yeah.
right? So don't quit. Just stay on the game. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So Sammy, 2023, um, you have already get some experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know the business. You found what works for you.
Yeah.
You say, okay, I'm really good at this side of the business,
Right.
which is the dispo side.
Yeah.
That's the side where I think that's your strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're really good at talking. You're really good at selling deals. You're really good at communicating with investors.
Mm-hmm.
You have leveled up your gain of knowledge in real estate. So in 2023, talk to me. What happened? How do we get together? Tell the audience how do we get together?
Yeah, so being a year into the business, literally like on my year mark of jumping into the business full time, um, you know, we split ways with my past team, and from that point, like I said, it was one of those things that I wasn't with the team anymore, but my mindset was I don't care, I'm still gonna make this work,
Yeah,
right? Like I however I have to do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I stuck to it like probably 2.5 months, 3 months
yeah,
before you contacted
yeah.
me. But during that period, so my first week after not being with that team, somebody sends me this slot, and it's in the Dominion, and I find a buyer for it, and we get to the close. Everything, it seems like we're gonna make a good amount of money, and this was being on my own, so I was gonna profit everything,
Right,
right?
right.
And turns out it's a fraud deal. So they
Mm,
flag that property,
wow.
and doesn't close. So I said, okay, that's fine. Like I understood real estate. Like there's gonna be those that properties that come, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. You move on to the next. So I just stuck with it, and
So let me stop you right there. So guys, this happens a lot in real estate too. There's a lot of fraud deals out there. In 2022, bro, 2021, that happened a lot because again, market was so hot.
mhm,
Title companies were moving so much paper. A lot of wholesalers, a lot of buyers. Like it was chaotic and scammers, right?
right,
They take advantage,
mhm,
and that happens a lot. A lot where now I don't know because title company got smarter with it, and now
right,
there's more they gotta prove more things about the seller and who they are, blah blah blah, all the stuff.
more
But
requirements,
yeah, more requirements. But you guys that are watching this, yeah, there's people that sells other people's properties. They know being the owners of the property.
mhm,
So you had this deal. You're gonna make a good fee. You own. You say, okay, cool. We're making a good fee here.
mhm.
Boom, deal busted.
Deal busted, and
What happened next?
I think I had went like because I had already went through that shift of 2023. Like I went, going 3-4 months without a check. Like it does something to you. Like
Yeah.
even when you're going through it, but after when you get that other check and then that second check after, and you realize that like there's times where it's gonna go your way and there's times it's not, and you got to be prepared for both of them.
Man, you gotta be prepared because and man, I like how you're saying it. When you go those 4 3 months without a check, it does something to you. Um, that to me, what it does is it builds my skin, bro. Like
Hmm.
I'm thicker. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like man, it's hard to cut.
Yeah.
because man, I already went 4 months without it. I already
Yeah.
3 months without it.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I get it, and if I go a whole week, that's like
Yeah.
that's nothing, but when it comes your way, that's why I love this business, because when it comes your way, bro,
It comes.
it comes,
Yeah.
bro. It comes, and I think we all getting there. You already definitely there, like it's coming. So, but it took a minute. I want to get there.
Yeah.
So we're in summer 2023 now.
Yeah.
Go for it. I contacted you.
You contact me, and it was very random,
Oh
bro.
my God, to get a hold of this guy is always a problem, man. Like getting a hold of Sammy is like, I think it's easier to call Joe Biden right now than calling Sammy. At least to me, I think he does it on purpose. But it was hard to get a hold of this dude. I'm like, man, I'm calling him on Facebook, and you understand something. All up until here, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
I knew of Samuel Espinoza because he was very active. He's still very active on Facebook, but I didn't know him in person. Okay, so I'm like, I don't have his number. I got the number with Andy. Andy gave me his number, so I'm calling him. He's not answering. His phone was off. I'm calling him on Facebook. He's not answering. I'm like, where's this guy? He doesn't have Sammy on Instagram. So I'm like, how do I find it? So a week goes by, and then you text me.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, bro, sorry, my phone was broken or something. Your phone was off. So you came to the company. We started working together. And, man, I got to say that your growth so far, it hasn't even been a year yet.
Yeah.
Your growth so far, your personal growth, right? Your professionalism, your knowledge-wise. Because there's things that I could tell still when you came in, like, okay, well, he doesn't know this or he doesn't know that, or he still needs more training on this. Now when I hear you talking, it's like I'm talking like with confidence, and I have 100% confidence of like, yeah, you run the company, and that's kind of where we at. We but before we get there, keep going. So what happened? You came in.
Yeah, we come in, and I think that first week you were here, and then you went on vacation.
Yeah,
came back. And I don't know. I think we were just kind of working together. We kind of agreed to build a team, and we started small, hired a couple people, but it was I guess fast forward during that period from summer, it was me, you, and Andy. We were grinding for 3-4 months. 3 months.
3 months. Yep.
Hired Albert.
Yep.
Left right before the end of the year of 2023.
Yep.
Nicole had already left.
Yep. Which is you and I.
It was just you and I.
Yeah.
And
up until like December, which is literally just you and I.
Yeah. So December 2023, during that we had that vacation, so we didn't really. We were here for like 2 weeks, and we came back, and I think that's just when I was at a point where I was like, do I just go solo, or like I see Manny, he has his builds, he's doing his thing, like he still does a wholesale, but like what is it that I want to do, right? Or what's next,
bro? I'm so glad that you came in, Sammy. I'm not gonna lie, bro, and I'm gonna say like I'm public, like one, God knows, bro. Like God knows your heart, and God knows my heart. God knows all of us' heart, bro. And I am so glad that He put it in your heart for you to come and sit down to talk to me, because I honestly didn't know where I also was heading. Like I was like, man, the office is empty, right? Like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm making money, all that, whatever, but still the office is empty, right?
Yeah.
And it was just you and I, and you came in and you said, all right, bro, 2024 is coming. I still want to continue the business. I still want to continue doing this, but I want to see where you at. And you asked me straightforward. Yeah. And that's something I respected. I was like, okay, like that's when I knew you were serious. That showed me like, okay, this guy's serious about this. Yeah. Okay. So you sit down, we sit down and we talk, and we say, all right, we're going to go in 2024. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you my partner. I'm going to give you equity on the company. We're going to build a team. You're going to be now the leader of the company. We're going to create a team. And I told you, it's not going to be easy, bro. Because remember, I already done that multiple times. Yeah. And I know it's not easy. Yeah. To build a wholesale company on a team, and a lot of people are going to agree or disagree with me, but since I've done it, at least to my KPIs, it takes about a good 6 months, bro. A good 6 months to get a solid team and have the whole team to understand the business. Right. Because this is not a business that you just come in and be like, Boom, got it. This is what you
Yeah.
do. No, it requires a lot of experience. So came in 2024 in January, and then we started working together. Like we took it serious, and we're gonna build a team, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So keep going from there.
Yeah, I mean, we agreed, and we said let's do it, and we both agreed that we were gonna do it through God,
Like man, yep,
and God be the number one,
yep,
in our office and
yep,
in business, right?
yep,
So, um, I had never hired before. I had never been in a position where like, hey, you're a leader, hey, like find people so we can start working with.
yep,
And it's like you said, it's one thing to get people to one even get the concept and the fundamentals of what wholesaling is,
yep,
right? But there's a whole nother side where it's like getting them to see the vision,
yep,
because they can understand wholesaling and do it for a month or two
yep.
before they're like, hey, what's going on? I'm not making money.
Right.
Like, so it's a long term thing. And
It
I think
is.
that that's something that everybody here in the office understands.
Yep,
Everybody here is willing to go through it and
yep,
and grow through it,
yeah.
So, um,
So Sammy, since January 2024, your responsibilities as a real estate investor are different than what it used to be. Because
mhm,
before it was just you,
mhm,
like it was just Sammy as the sales agent.
yeah,
Now, I mean, we have Geo,
mhm,
we have the guys, like we
yeah,
have everybody in here, right? So,
mhm.
what have you learned on you being on that position to where you have responsibility as a leader on the company?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things that just kind of just shows you like where you're lacking in all these areas,
Yep,
right? Like, because you can come in as a worker and just do what you think is enough to get to for that day, but as a leader, like, not only do you have to put in the work, but you have to be an
an
example. You
example.
have to be
Yep,
able to uplift your coworkers, like help them out, get them to motivate them, keep them like hungry and wanting more, and just kind of like overall just you have to develop more as a person. Like
yep.
you can't be the same person and fill in
You
a
can.
leadership position.
You can't be the same. You can't act as if you are a sales agent and you get promoted or you get an opportunity to be a leader. You can't have the same mindset. You can't act the same. You can't even get to the office at the same time. You can't even do the same routines that you were doing as just as a salesperson when you become a leader. So, and I saw that on you. I think you were ready when then,
Hmm.
and I think that's what you needed on your career now.
Hmm.
I think I know that that's what you needed
Yeah.
on your career to level up to the next level, right? Like
Yeah.
things start getting easier because you already know how to make money,
Right.
right? On getting deals, selling deals, and that aspect. But now you helping the team, that's a whole different skill set, bro.
Yeah.
That's a whole different skill set. And I can tell you, bro, that I'm so happy. And like you said, we gave it all to the Lord. Like when we talk about this, we said, look, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it together. We're gonna do it with God. God is gonna be in the front. He's gonna lead us, and He's gonna help us to do this. And I know you're a believer, and that's one of the first things that I asked you when you came in.
Hmm.
Like, and I told you, bro, when we're gonna hire people, they have to be a believer.
Yeah.
Like they have to, like otherwise, like we're not gonna be in sync.
Yeah.
And I wanted the company, and I think you do too, where like we're comfortable talking about God. We're comfortable on saying, hey, you know what? It's on God's time, and hey, you know what? It's on God's will. If the deal didn't happen, don't worry. God's gonna provide for more. And
Right.
those are the conversations that we wanted, and we having here with the team. So I think everybody's the same boat. Everybody sees the vision. So Sammy, what have you learned on not so much on the leadership aspect now, but talk about because you sell deals like crazy, bro. Like you're Sammy Soul,
Yeah.
right? Not Sammy Stole, but Sammy Soul.
Sammy Soul, baby.
So what is your trick, bro? What is your sauce that you can give the audience?
I mean, there's not. I think a lot of things play into factor, right? You want to keep it as simple as possible, but know what you're selling, right? So even though I know, we're in this business of selling real estate, like you got to understand, construction costs,
Yep.
your numbers. What are your rehab? Like, what are your ARVs? Like, what are houses selling for in the area? So, I mean, I think just my one is mindset. Like
Okay.
that's like number one, because you can have the best sales. You can even be a good speaker, but if you
Yeah.
don't have that confidence within you,
Yeah.
then it's not going to happen,
Yeah.
and people sense that. So I'd say, having confidence, having mindset, and just
Knowing your product, like you need to know
knowing
what you're selling,
exactly.
and that's, I think you nailed it, because as a good salesman, you need to have that confidence.
Hmm.
You definitely need to have the mindset when things don't go your way, and you definitely need to know your product. Like, you're not going to sell a Ferrari if you don't know every little details of a Ferrari. You need
Right.
to know the product, right? So I think you do a great job at that. And I think, my opinion, what I see from the outside in you is you are really good at networking. You're really good at building relationships.
Yeah.
And in this business, especially wholesaling, it's a relationship business. And I think you do that phenomenal. You do it great, and probably better than me. I'm more of an introvert. The less people talk to me, the better.
Hmm.
But you do it great, bro. So
Yeah.
keep pushing. Now, there was a moment in that, on our transition since summer to last year, where um, I was like, "What's going on with this guy?" Because it was a dry area.
Yeah.
It was a dry season a little bit,
Hmm.
and I was like, "What's going on?" Like, I know he can close. I know he can do better. Like, and I think he was, and it's important you guys listen to this part, because knowing your strength, knowing what you're really good at. I knew that his strength was more on the selling part of the deal, selling the deal, communicating to investors, and he didn't really know too much of the acquisition aspect of it.
Right.
Now you know it,
Hmm.
because you probably hear me. You see the guys doing it, so
Yeah.
automatically you're in it, and
Yeah.
and you practice it already. But I noticed that you were trying to go more of the acquisition side, and then it is slow your growth.
Yeah.
When I told you, bro, you know what? Stop that, screw that, go to what works for you.
Yeah.
And as soon as you make that shift and you start going for what worked for you,
Yeah.
boom, again, Sammy's soul came back alive.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, no, it's true, bro. I spent a whole year just doing dispositions, so for
Yeah.
me, I that just came natural.
Yep.
It came natural. With my first year, I sold 30 properties.
Wow, that's good.
So I picked up on it quick, and yeah, acquisitions, it's a whole different game.
Yep.
It's you gotta one, like, break the ice,
Yep.
and like I can talk to people, but it's just when you're calling about. I didn't have the confidence on the acquisition side,
Yeah.
right? So there's a lot of pieces that I needed to get better at,
Yeah.
which I practiced. But yeah, I mean, I had my dry spells, but that's when you told me, like, dude, just focus on what you know,
Yeah.
do what you're good at,
Yep.
and we transition, even because for me it was like, well, how am I gonna find properties to
Yeah, I
sell if I
remember.
don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
properties coming in,
Yeah.
right? So one thing that I was very good at, that I was able to transition into, was JVing.
Yep.
JVing with realtors,
Yep.
JVing with wholesalers. I had I had the buyers, I had the people with the money.
Yep.
You got the deal. Let's put them together. Let's make some money.
Yep.
And we picked up on that, and
Yeah.
we were able to do a couple
Yeah, and then
JVs.
relationships with
Yeah,
people that you have, agents, guys.
agents.
Work with Sammy. Sammy can get all the deals you have in San Antonio, Texas, land, um, uh, vacant lots, multifamily, single family. I can guarantee that he can get in sold, and we can get you an offer within, man, the same day. So, Sammy, before we wrap up, man, it's I do want to say this for the records, that I am so proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
I'm happy to see your growth, bro. And like I tell you, and I said in public, like, grow bigger, bro. Go be bigger. Go do more, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
want to see that Sammy that in 10 years, I'm like, you know what, that dude worked with me, man. Like, we hopefully back then we're still together, but even if we're not, like, I want to be able to say, like, that dude right there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when, because I've seen the struggle you've been through. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it hurt me too, because I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And being part of bro, I spend more time with you than I spend with my own family. I spend
Yeah.
more time with you than I spend with my own girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think we have that bond here between all of us. And I genuinely want to see you win, bro. I genuinely want to see you
Thank
succeed.
you.
And I know that you're doing it for a good cause, which is your family.
Hmm.
You know, I think that's your why as well.
Yeah.
You know, your parents. Um, the opportunity that we have right now, it's being given by God, and let's protect it. I think you now got it
Hmm.
and understood it. First generation, bro. We're Latinos, bro,
Yeah.
doing real estate. Young guys, bro. We're doing this. You know what I'm saying? We're moving a lot of money in this industry. So I just want that to be for the records and tell you, bro, that one more time that go kill it, go be as big as you can. Let's take this company. I share with you guys the
Mm-hmm.
vision that we're going in the next 12, 16 months, 24 months, and I hope and I pray that all of us here and including you are part of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what can you sign us up with?
Um, well, I mean, I just want to say, thank God for the opportunity that He's given me to be here, right? But
Amen.
also you
Yeah,
as well. You've definitely been a huge role in my growth, not just outside of real estate, but within
yeah,
the knowledge and the things that we're able to do and
yeah.
kind of being in this position. So um, I want to give you
No,
thanks for
man.
that.
Praise
And
God.
yeah,
Glory to God, brother, because God knows His people, and He had put us together for a reason. And I
yeah,
think that's it. I remember I tell you, bro, I'm not gonna teach you real estate, bro.
yeah,
Remember I tell you,
yeah, I
I'm not
remember.
gonna teach you real estate. You already know real estate.
Yeah,
I'll teach you this
I'll teach you
differently.
mindset.
See things different, and I think you saw it different, bro. Now, and
Yeah.
as you see it different, and I can see you, bro, like way different, bro. The Sammy that walked in the first day, I wish I had a camera and I could go back and
Yeah,
you will see that Sammy. Well, I'm glad we recorded that video. And
yeah.
if you go back, it's a different Sammy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And not even a year. So imagine what could happen
Yeah,
in 4 years, bro.
yeah.
So one last thing to those guys that want to get into wholesaling, what can you tell them?
Um, you don't, if I could leave you with this, is like you don't need to know it all. You just have to have some self belief, and this concept is very real of wholesaling. I know it can look fake on social media. It definitely is real. It is life changing. There's a lot of opportunities. Don't be scared to make the calls because
Yep,
ultimately the calls and conversations is what's going to make you money and open the opportunities. So just have some faith. You're always more than welcome to reach out to Manny and I. If
yep,
you need help with anything, we can help you close deals. But just if you put your mind to it, go in it with both feet. Don't doubt, and just build that confidence that even though you don't know what you're talking about, just act as if you do,
yep.
and the opportunities are out there. You just won't know until you run into them. So
That's it. That's a great way to finish the podcast. Go ahead and like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, Simon, where can they reach out to you if they have any deals? Where can people reach out to you?
yeah, you can reach me on Facebook, Samuel Espinoza, or on Instagram, SE_9301.
There you go. So, if you guys have any question, go ahead and reach out to us. God bless you all. Let's get it.
That's it.